Hello, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to Dice Dropping's Chronicle of House Weirlight, Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game. We're in the middle of determining the fate of House Weirlight over a 2-year period. However, I do have to go back and make an addendum because there was an event during Vivian's turn I completely forgot about. Vivian, I need you to roll to see if you are...
Yes! Please not again.
All right. What do I need to roll?
What are the modifiers for Cedric getting all sweaty and oiled up and beating the shit out of someone beforehand?
To give a bonus.
Endurance. So the idea here is if Vivian is pregnant, that means we know the baby was conceived at Henrik and Mariella's birthday party.
I hate this.
Happy birthday to us.
To us, yeah. At least we know won't have the same.
Be another male.
As us, so.
All right. So this is going to
mix
be.
it up.
So first, we need to see if she is pregnant. So
it's twins again.
That is fairly easily determined. This is the one time we would ever use this die in the system ever. Vivian, please roll a d20.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa.
I'm sorry, Tony. What is that?
Are you playing D&D?
Okay.
What number?
I know. It's a 20-sided die.
She's
That's
rolling
impossible.
initiative.
Dice only have 6 sides, Tony.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
Roll
All right. I was about to explain the mechanics of this, but now I think it's way more fun if I don't. So
You can do a post. You can do a post.
I will explain them after. the
Okay.
session, but
Okay. All right.
this
fine.
session, I'm just gonna be mean and not do it.
All right.
I'm not gonna.
one of those to
D20.
make too. So.
Oh god, I'm so nervous. Here we go.
Roll
We have
initiative.
no idea what you're gonna have to pay.
19.
19. Well,
Is it-
maybe. Well,
Maybe. Who knows? It could be the. It could be the opposite.
It's a good
Vivian?
numerical die.
Yeah.
you are pregnant.
All right.
Now, unfortunately, because Vivian has at one point in her life burned a destiny die to save herself from death, there is a chance her child will not survive.
I was poisoned, you know.
Yes.
We remember.
However, unfortunately, that means the survival of the baby will be on the roll of Thorsten's healing check.
Oh, I knew those are rough. Oh, boy.
Who knows? Here we go.
David's face.
I will tell you, it's a high difficulty. The difficulty is TN 9.
And you got that baby.
Thorsten, what are you gonna do, man?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's even higher. It's TN 12.
Oh.
That's the number I had in my
straight
brain.
healing?
I was like, ooh, is it a 12?
Yeah. So this is going to be a healing test. Now, what are your specialties in healing?
Diagnose?
Treat injury and diagnose.
Okay, so neither of those will help in this moment. However, you do have the Maester quality, right?
I do.
Okay,
It's
then
Maester.
you will get to add your +4 bonus to this roll.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay then.
It has a specifics for if you are a proper Maester, because if you have the healing, that means you've actually been taught how to birth a baby, because that is one of the more important things you have to learn.
Yeah, I broke Vivian's desolate womb
Wow.
from the prior maester.
Jesus.
That's your words exactly.
It's.
You can use your lucky on this roll if you want.
Yeah, put that on
Write that
put that on
down.
Vivian's tombstone.
Let's see it. That was my moniker before I
That
had
was
kids.
you.
Yeah.
That's
Now.
what they called
Healing.
it in high school.
I am very ready.
Yes.
Don't know about Tony, but
I
think.
You ready? Okay,
Yeah.
rolling.
We're ready. We're ready.
+4, 18.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
Hey, that was the close we got.
Yes. Vivian.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah.
I was with two
You
ones.
give. Yeah, I know, right? You give birth to a healthy boy.
That's the worst roll you ever done.
It's an heir, a spare, and one for the clergy.
Oh, there we go.
he has
being a maester.
he has his father's dark hair.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, precious baby.
Now you
All
gotta
right.
think of a name. It's
I
gotta end
do.
in
You
in.
asked me to do
Well,
nothing
everyone
else.
can think of a name.
Yeah, of course. Everyone can name.
It's a group
Uh,
thing.
Don't ask me to do nothing else. I have achieved the height of motherhood of what in
that's
Westeros.
currently Vivian has 7 living children.
So
You need like 4 more to beat that one family.
The high
Oh, the
tower.
phrase? No, we need
11 more
like
to beat the
20
Duggars.
more.
Well, the High Towers have a lot, and the Freys have infinitely more, but that's not the point. The point is the Divine 7.
because I'm better.
Vivian was aiming for that, and like
Just
just
7.
almost
She's
got
happy
it.
now.
Quality.
Mhm.
Quality over quantity.
Says the woman with 7 children. All right, cool. I just needed that bit of keeping done. So there is, in fact, a new sibling of the Weirlights, which means we have to wake up the blacksmith again.
Another
Add a new-
flower!
Add a new flower.
It's like 4 a.m. and
Yeah.
we've been waiting.
You're like, hey.
And
There's
you
no
guys are
blood on
good.
my sheets. I'm pregnant.
Yeah, put a little tattoo on the baby's foot.
Do what?
Yes. All right, a healthy little boy. All right. Excellent. So now I'm going to shoot directly for Clarissa.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
Hello,
Hello.
The video has
Clarissa.
disappeared on my screen. I'm going to reload.
Mhm. So, Clarissa,
Yes.
we are going to roll to see how your 2 years goes.
Woo.
Are you ready?
I am. I am also going to spend a destiny point to add a bonus die to this.
Okay, you may do so.
All right, and it's going to be +4.
Oh, ooh. Okay.
Thanks to Head for Numbers.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That will apply here.
26.
26. Damn, with your benefit, you can't get curse. Damn. But,
I
You
don't have
really
the
wanted
4.
to.
You're too good at your job. Look at you go.
yeah, you instead get blessing. Oh my gosh. What kind of blessing?
You're blessed with a curse.
Yeah, right?
Your blessing, yes, is more nightmares. Fuel your power. Okay, hold on. I gotta roll to see what kind of blessing it is. Base 22. Okay, cool. Fun. So, Clarissa, in these 2 years, the first thing we're going to address is you get married.
I do.
Yeah, you get married. Though it is in the Achelands, there is essentially you get married at your family's home. Several minor nobles of the surrounding area that come and give favor and celebration. It is a more private affair as you wanted. However, there were still people that were sort of necessary to invite. There is, of course, just like going to get married, right? To the house, but yeah, you stand before a sept and you hold Jaren's hands. What's your wedding gown like?
I'd say for Clarissa, coming from the Weirlights, it's incredibly simple. It's just a nice feeling fabric with full sleeves. It's a pretty high necked. It's very long, decently full skirt, but it's very simple comparatively.
Excellent. Yep. Jaren is definitely wearing his essentially his military regalia, because it's the nicest clothes he currently owns. And it's a formal thing. He just holding his hands here, he somehow just seems taller. You don't know how. But he seems taller. And you take your vows under the eyes of the 7. And then there is a raucous celebration of drinking and laughing and dancing, and then of course everyone's favorite part, where all of the women attending the party grab Jaren and begin voraciously stripping him and moving him towards the bridal bed, and all of the men of the party begin stripping Clarissa of her outfit,
As is tradition.
as is tradition, and you are both thrown naked into your wedding bed.
Extra clarification: am I in this party, or was I not invited or anything?
No, you're not here.
Thank you. All right.
No, you send. I believe the Weirlight sent wedding gift, but that is their extent of their involvement.
There is
yes.
one person that I want to make sure is there.
Yes, who is there?
Orton Lugas.
Then Orton Lugas is definitely there.
Perfect.
He
Oh,
100.
nice, ma'am.
He 100% comes and congratulates you, and Jaren, who he does remember from Jaren is one of the few people who actually know who Orton is. Never really talked to him, but was very present when people talked to him. So he is there. And of course you have your lovely wedding night. So you have more cemented that friendship with Orton there for sure. So right now we're just gonna roll what we just did. Is Clarissa pregnant?
Like a game show.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see.
Right.
Time for another terrifying game of
Are you pregnant? Oh
Oh
dear.
my god.
I
Just a
think that
D20,
depends on
yes?
whether or not she wants it. Yeah,
Just
D20.
just a D20. Okay. You are pregnant.
Oh, good.
First year.
I'm
Let's
sure she
go.
loved that.
Mhm.
So,
And let's see, a 14. So, and that means you get to make another roll.
Uh-huh.
oh boy.
Please roll another D20.
Oh.
Love it.
9. Okay. You do not have twins.
Yay!
I know, damn it.
Yeah. Instead, because there's nothing really wrong with you, Clarissa. You have a boy.
Oh.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's on the first time.
First time, yeah.
Yeah, no, 9. That's what that means. Yeah. Basically, 14 is boy or girl or twins. If you
Boy ate the other one.
yeah. Yeah.
I already have his name, if you'd like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Calum.
Calum.
Calum, yes.
All right. Calum Birchsong.
Yes.
Also, due to your blessing as well, the farm, the dog essentially, farm that the kennel that Jaren is starting on his lands with some of the people he knew growing up, has already gifted a good yield of poupées, and Birch is a father.
Ah, yay!
So great.
As he is an excellent guard dog stock. So he was bred on your permission with another dog, and he's a dad. Which he's really excited for. And there is definitely a moment where you are sitting on a blanket in your land, not your dad's, not your employer's, your land, and you are watching your husband hold your son up as Birch's puppy is licking your son's face, and it's really sunny. And I feel like is that maybe one iota of a moment where Clarissa isn't completely tense.
Yeah, she's a human for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So because this isn't as important as the Weirlight family, you can tell me who does Calum favor? Like you've got Jaren with his brown hair and gray eyes.
Yeah, I think it's a red-haired, gray-eyed baby.
Red hair, gray eye baby.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right. Very cool. Yeah. Also, you find among the wedding presents after the wedding at the manor house as you're going through them, there is one from Thorsten.
Oh.
And it looks like a new inkwell and quill of a very ornate quality. And a very heartily leather-bound notebook, and essentially a note essentially attached to it, going a new volume to fill. So yeah, so that's nice.
Yes.
So I think so. Yeah, so you managed. Oh, look at it. Yeah, so you definitely allow some time to enjoy that, going back and forth. Luckily, due to in part of your dowry and the insane winnings from the Weirlight tournament, House Birchsong is doing pretty good. So much so that you have like nursemaids and people to take care of your son, and people that help run the farm for Jaren. He has like foremans and head breeders, and he's starting to employ as many people from like his old community as possible who like had this sort of one like kind of heavily impacted part of the work, bringing some farmers onto their lands. Now, of course, he's not allowed to grow poppies here, just because of these like really old ancient documents that nobody really touches. But
copyright laws, sure.
They're trademarked.
Very much so. But yeah, some base crops are being yeared. He's like. He kind of informs you he wants to grow these not to sell necessarily, but like just for for everybody, to be more like independently like managed essentially. And yeah, you can definitely tell. Yeah, Jaren is taking well to this new line of life, but he definitely welcomes an experienced hand like yourself.
Yeah.
In managing the household, and it is, you tell me, but it is a feeling of difference of managing the Weirlight household, being like everything must be good for the Lord and Lady, and there is a moment where you're managing people about the manor home and the servants' quarters and farmhand keeps and all these different locations now that are kind of beginning to spread up in your honestly gorgeous land that has really great, I think, views of the surrounding area. And of course, Mott and Bailey constantly being constructed in the distance that will one day be your family's home. That you are directing your own household. And for a moment when you're like, what does the lady wish? And you go, I'm the lady. What do I wish?
Yeah.
How does that feel for Clarissa?
I feel like she never expected anything like that, or she never thought that far ahead. Like, it was always, she was so focused on making sure, since she was like 16, making sure that the Weirlights had every single thing that they wanted. And now it's like, oh, it's me now. It's me now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I take it there weren't a bunch of butterflies at your wedding?
No, No, not a single one, actually.
No
Interestingly enough.
No lepidopterists. None of them.
Strange. No peacocks, none of that.
Yes. Birch did wear bells, though.
Yes. Adorable.
He jingled around.
Birch carried the ring.
Is that one of those
Bring
things
them up
where the
the aisle.
dogs are in there? Please. Oh.
Yep. And then, of course, there is Birch's, the mother of Birch's children, which is a dog Jaren's been raising for a while named Melody. Yeah, Melody.
Well, the song part makes sense now. It's cute.
Yeah, and of course, all their puppies, which you are free to name. But yeah, and you have some time, of course, managing affairs, but due to the actions of Tedric's like crackdown on the surrounding lands, a lot of bandits have been moved away from the Akelins in a fairly short amount of time. Vivian's management of and growing influence within the kind of social community to be able to spread rumors. It's not that your job has lessened at all. It hasn't. But you have had these moments to be able to spend extended parts with your husband and your son. In your bed, in your room, in your home, on your land. And it is, in fact, soon growing over the time. You are also, Jaren has men. Men who are, like, armed, essentially. Who can protect the land specifically. Some old friends, some young friends, many of them are green, but a good amount of them are veterans who just basically like served their stint, but have been not enjoying like mercenary work or anything like that. So they've come to be guardsmen. And you were worried at first because when they first showed up, they were kind of drinking a lot. But after about a week, Jaren has really laid down the law with a lot of them, and it seems like they really respect him for that. Yeah, so you guys, it's so beyond that, we've established that part of this lovely part of Clarissa's life. What other things have you been doing?
Sometime during the lovely part, I do want to make sure that she tells Jaren as much as she can about the Asterwoods and about her fear and all of that, specifically about the 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to now make a roll for Jaren.
Sanity check.
For real.
I mean, it's a willpower roll. Okay. Oh no, you guys can't see that, can you?
He's down.
We're like,
Oh, he's down to clown.
It's better.
he's chilling.
Yeah, Jaren got a total of 20. So,
Oh, he's down to clown.
You were explaining all this to him. He says nothing and is just like nodding and understanding. And then, like, when you're like waiting, he goes, all right. And then he immediately starts being like, okay, well, if we want to make efforts to get the book back, and he's just like, he's immediately on board.
Yeah, it's like 3 sentences in, and she just like stands up and grabs his face and gives him a very long kiss. She's never told anyone about this before. Besides Thorson.
Besides Thorson, yeah. And he fully accepts it. He could have rolled like shit. That would be very sad. But no, yeah, he fully accepts it, and yeah, he definitely takes the kiss. And it also is helpful that Tedric is now moving against Flint. And now Jaren is like, when we go for the battlement, I'll volunteer to lead the expeditionary force. And he says, like, I will work towards getting the book back.
Thank you.
Absolutely, love. I'm just overjoyed you involved me.
You won't be for long, but that's all right. She like pats his cheek.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So he takes that fully. All right. So you do that. Anything else, Clarissa?
I've got a number of things. I need to talk to my father still about stepping down, because I still think that needs to happen.
Okay.
And then I need to speak with Orton, and I need to speak with my sister.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so you will 100% talk to your father. And at this point, because of all the shit you've already set up, he made the deal with you. Yeah. Hold on. So we're gonna have you talk to him, but we're going to do when we like start up in a moment here. I'm gonna go through Thorsten, and we're gonna come back to you, and we're gonna do an intrigue with you and your dad.
All right.
But beyond that, you talk to Orton and your sister. And I just had her name in front of me.
Catalina.
Thank you.
Is that the one you're looking for?
10,000 NPCs. All right. Excellent. So we have that down. Cool. So, so you talk to them about what we talked about.
Yes.
You don't really have to convince your sister. She is more than eager to please herself. Wow. She's more than eager to prove herself. Though she's definitely being like absolutely, and I can do this, and I can mingle and subsequent needs, and but how much of this is like putting away papers, because and then Orton, however, is like
I've got great news for both of you, coincidentally.
Indeed. Because you invited him to his to your wedding, so kind of laid the groundwork there. Yeah, that's a big boost and boon. If you want to just yeah, your power did increase. Holy shit, yeah. You could do this. So what I'm about to talk about here is something that I talked about. Is that currently Clarissa is in a state where she could essentially bring Orton and her sister Catalina to essentially temporarily take her place, sort of have co-stewards, as one person couldn't take Clarissa's place, according to Clarissa. So her sister, already well trained, and Orton, a person who you all trust at this point and is privy to a few of your secrets. However, seeing as House Lugus already kind of has Clarissa is currently in a position, and so is House Weirlight, where you could right now, over the 2-year period, gain House Lugus as a banner house.
Ooh.
Just so I remember, they're not a Reach house. They're technically a Westerland house?
No, so they're originally a Crown Lands house
Okay.
that
okay.
traded over to the Westerlands and now would be going to you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
And so here's how that can go.
Hmm.
Now, this would be a situation where you actually don't have to spend anything. Well, sort of. You sort of would. But you would just gain a second banner house of House Lugus, Orton being the lord of it, and their assets and resources, which aren't as good as they used to be because you guys took a bunch of shit from them.
They're already
then-
ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're already ours.
However, it would be men and guaranteed loyalty, and it would make your house look real cool having two banner houses.
Done.
Well,
Okay,
nah.
well, hold on. All right.
What does Orton want?
Orton's fine. He's down. The thing is the in between parts. So either there can be a sort of intrigue done that can be kind of difficult. The intrigue would not be face to face. It would be over a set of several months, and it would be letters back and forth between House Weirlight. Now anyone can head this. This can be Clarissa heading and other people can helping. But the person you would be writing to and for against would be Tywin Lannister.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other option is we roll 2d6, and that number, each of the dice can either, one can be subtracted from your influence and one can be subtracted from your wealth, or both influence, and then you'll just immediately gain them as you are paving a tithe to Tywin Lannister. So there is guarantee success, but you lose some wealth and you lose some influence, or you go back and forth with Tywin Lannister. If you lose,
Well, that would be guaranteed success anyway.
well,
Not against
No.
Tywin Lannister.
if you lose against Tywin, you don't gain a new house, and you can still lose influence anyway.
Oh.
You wouldn't lose wealth though. So, yeah.
I do also want to point out, it's like with us potentially absorbing the Lucases, we're also absorbing their reputation.
Or is
Yes.
that true?
No, so that's not the hit to influence. It's you expending your influence with Tywin Lannister, essentially.
Mhm.
That's essentially what that is. However, upon gaining House Lugus, your house wealth would then immediately increase by 1d6. And your power would increase by 2d6.
Okay. I think we have, I would say we have.
We have a good buffer zone.
For both our influence and our wealth, I guess we have. Even if we rolled 6 on both of them, we still
You guys would
have.
be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's better than doing an intrigue against Tywin Lannister, because a lot of the intrigue rules that we would usually have be different because it's a letter and not in
No,
person.
they would not be different.
Okay.
It would be the same roll. It's just if you lose, you would still lose influence.
Mhm.
But if you win, you can essentially affect the disposition of Tywin Lannister. So there's benefits, but if it's you just want to get through this quick, then it's just 1d6 influence, 1d6 wealth.
So,
Okay, and
how comfortable do you feel?
and we'd
to
still be able to
travel
help
by
each other, like with the rules of would we still be able to help each other with the rules of
Nah,
intrigue?
I mean, sort of, but
It would be more just a dice and not the whole like assisting things like that with intrigue.
Yeah.
Right?
well, you can. I mean, you like Mariella wouldn't be able to help, right? Because she's in.
Yeah.
It would be more like Vivian and Clarissa, right? It's like the idea there. So yeah, we can do that, but again, it is, it's Tywin Lannister, so there's benefits to both. I will also say you guys are impossibly influential and wealthy. A minus d6 of either will literally barely affect you. It wouldn't affect you.
That's fair.
Right? Because you're already also because at the end of Clarissa's turn, you guys
are
will
rolling
immediately
die.
be getting a d6.
I gotcha. I'd say I think my opinion is going for the d6 and taking the hit to wealth and influence, because Tywin Lannister's a monster. I'm not ready to
Play in his playground.
not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. I like to see that's the attitude you gotta have. Not yet.
Well, we'll gotta solidify with Delilah on one side,
Yeah.
and Xander on the other.
100%.
All right, cool. So let's do that right now. Clarissa, please roll a d6 and then another d6. Okay.
2.
Okay. All right. So -6 to influence, but -2 from wealth. And fucking like that, over the course of that sort of 2-year negotiation period, House Lucas is now officially sworn to House Weirlight.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys now, Clarissa, please roll me another d6.
5.
You just lost 2 wealth, but now you gained 5 wealth.
Oh.
So you essentially just add 3.
And 2d6.
Yeah. And then 2d6 to power. Holy shit!
And
Nice.
Power.
we're not lacking in that department, that's for sure.
We're jumping
Pretty good there.
19 points
Yeah.
during this
What's our
tier.
power? What's our power at?
Add 19 to what's pinned.
Yeah.
So power was 62.
Oh, 62.
We're adding 19.
Oh
Fuck.
We're
god.
above 70.
So
What's our new
81.
rank now?
70 is the highest. You have the strength of most of the 7 kingdoms behind you.
So that's not actually a good representation of things, because a lot of your resources are already kind of sunk in stuff. But especially since this is now just sort of a representation of you now have another house with its own army, essentially.
Our military prowess.
We have
Yes.
access
Pretty
to like
strapped.
our own army and their army is what
Yeah.
this is.
So now it's pretty cool. Now there are 3 banners. There's House Weirlight with the purple and red Weirlight. There is House Asterwood, the shield and tree, and now there's House Lucas, the silver goblet.
With
With the black. Yep. Absolutely. You guys have.
This is all looking beautiful for my army.
Yep, it's pretty cool. And that new 10 is essentially the amount that sort of you get, and then is now sunken into that extra house, which is real cool. Yeah. All right. So you guys now own the Lucases.
We owned them before. Now we just officially own them.
Exactly. Yep. So Tywin Lannister is not really that put off by this, due to the devaluing of the house. You just like offering wealth and favors. He's just like, yes, this is fine. Like, so yep, all good there. Excellent. So you guys now have kind of currently apprenticing Catalina Asterwood Clarissa's younger sister, and your old buddy,
Orton Lucas.
Orton Lucas.
Nice.
Who I will say brings with him these 5 men. And Clarissa, he tells you who these men are. These men are his assassins.
Martin, you brilliant man.
Okay.
And he goes, "It's kind of my family's thing."
We knew, yeah.
Yeah,
These
you
are
know.
my personal assassins.
Yeah, these are my assassins. Well, who are now your guys' assassins.
That is all they do is they follow me around waiting for me to issue an assassination request.
Alyssa's gonna be so pissed she missed out on this.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So you guys now have access to assassins you don't have to hire, which is neat. It's neat. God, this has gone so well for you guys.
God.
I'm just gonna have to be super mean in the next arc.
Thanks.
Good.
Oh,
Can I know we're hopping over to Thorsten in just a second, but can I also say I send a letter to the Dolvers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About what?
I'm checking in, basically. I'm keeping allegiances, checking in, because the last update we got was not great.
Absolutely. Yeah. You do find that whatever sickness held Harold Dulver has not claimed him.
Yay.
He is the vulture still lives.
yeah.
To circle over his wealth.
Yes.
Good.
However, he's still kind of he's been weakened from it. Yeah, he's currently recovering, but to what extent? But yeah, but he is recovering. So that knowledge is insecure. So, Clarissa, please make me a d6 roll.
All right. One.
And another, please.
5.
Another.
5. Okay, so that 1 is to the Weirlight's influence. And the 5 can go anywhere you want, Clarissa.
Oh. Decisions.
Just right back into influence. Like
yeah.
nothing ever happened.
You
With the
can't-
loss that they gave us.
You can't double it up.
You can't double it up.
Except
Okay.
influence. Okay.
So
we don't really need it on power, so we're good on that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I'm
so-
going to put it
so-
in population.
okay.
Population?
I'm definitely going to put it in population.
Excellent.
Get some more
Excellent,
people in here.
Excellent.
Look at that.
excellent.
No, we're kind of in a sweet spot for modifier, but
Mhm.
I don't want to go too far, I know, but like we can get some.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. All right.
We might be losing some people soon.
Yeah, for real.
Fair.
All right. Thorsten.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
It is time.
You need to make my status roll?
Yes. Let's see how this goes. 21.
Not
Very
bad.
nice. That's excellent.
not bad at all.
Yeah.
wow,
Excellent roll.
you've
All
got
right.
2 chances for what you're hoping for.
So that's man, you got a huge one. What is that? Plus. Yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So
That's 29.
that's curse.
It had to be anyone, you
It's
know.
gonna happen.
If it had to be anybody, it was going to be me.
Yeah.
Alrighty, the curse.
Strap in, guys. Whew.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm here for, to make it interesting.
Listen, everyone had such good rolls. It's probably going to mitigate whatever the curse is about to do.
Yeah.
Really hoping.
It depends where, but that's okay.
All right, so Thorsten, over the 2 years, what are you doing? I mean, obviously, at one point you deliver a new Weirlight into this world.
do I happen to also help deliver
Clarissa's baby?
Yeah.
I assume so. Yeah.
If I have access to Thorsten,
You
he's
do.
birthing my child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Thorsten, you do. You bring
Access to Thorsten.
you bring baby
Unlocked
Calum.
him.
Okay.
You bring baby Calum into this world.
We're gonna be friends.
Keeping
So-
up that good C name.
Exactly. So there are 4 things that I have written down that I would like to attempt to do over the 2 years.
Okay.
The first one being for winning the MaesterCon
Yes.
Apothecary Challenge, I got a bottle from Maester Pycelle.
You did.
I'd like to know what that is. So
Okay.
I will work on that.
Excellent. Okay. We'll get to
The-
that.
Second thing would be I also received a bag of talons that I do not know what they are related to, and I'd like to figure out what that is as well.
A bag of talent?
Yeah, the talons are
like-
currency.
That's money, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's currency
what?
within the tower or the citadel.
Yeah.
'Cause they
the
don't use
Citadel.
money.
Okay.
Because they don't use
did
money.
not
They're
write that
it's
down.
yeah, talons are what they use in the Citadel to gain favors, accesses, rent out books, stuff like that.
It's
Okay.
script.
It's like
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
exactly. It's
Okay.
script.
It's Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, it's like script. Yeah, it's
Okay.
zenny. It's not worth outside
Yo.
of. It's worth nothing outside of the tower, but in the tower.
Okay.
it's
See?
everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So the second thing I'd like to do, obviously, is more research with the Weirlight flower.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I'm gonna
final
get a
thing,
brain
Creepy
parasite,
stuff.
dude.
Mm-hmm.
the final thing would be attempting to visit the Isle of Faces.
Ooh. Okay. All right. That this one's going to be a little hard.
Mhm.
Getting time to go there.
hmm
But I definitely think you and Clarissa talk about that.
Yeah.
As Clarissa actually has the ability now to eventually get the time to go there. So we can definitely deal with that. So your experiments into the flower and the blood magic. Still doing weird blood magic
Yes.
stuff? Yes. So, Thorsten, this is my question. Are you starting to use other people's blood?
Yes.
Okay. Do you get Henrik's blood?
Fucking weirdo.
I get Henrik's blood.
Okay. All right. Okay. Your experiment with Henrik's blood, what do you do with it? Are you just going to do the base one where you drop it on a Weirlight?
Yep. I'm kind of going to do the same thing I did with my blood
Okay.
because I am a Weirlight, and I want to see if the reactions are the same, if they're stronger. Because
So this is my main question. Where are you doing this?
in my tower,
Okay.
where I've done all my experiments,
Okay. So just all right, making sure. So when
I
you-
also because Henrik was privy to some information, I let him know what I'm doing to an extent. That way, he's not just be like, "Why do you need my blood?"
I asked questions about it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're given a very rudimentary answer to everything until I have figured out more.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, so you if it's in there, you'll drop the blood onto. Now, here's the question. Do you just have Henrik drop his blood onto it, or do you get like a vial and do it without him?
I get a vial and do. Well, I get a vial and I do it with him there. That way, he can
Oh.
kind of see what's going on.
I
And
wanna
then I'm going to
witness
have him
this, yeah.
leave. That way, he can. Except for I'm going to do it with my blood first to show him what it does, and then with his blood so we can see a comparison. Then afterwards, I'm shooing him away so I can do my research.
Okay. So if you're doing it in your tower, You do not notice a difference between your blood or his blood onto
Okay.
the flower. They puff and they go places. It's seemingly the same reaction, especially if you're not using his fresh blood.
Well, I'm using a vial. Like I drew blood from him, put it into a vial, and I did it right there.
Yeah.
It's still fresh.
Apparently, it is
Not fresh enough.
Yeah,
Not according to the flower.
not according to the flower.
Then the flower decides all.
For the Weirlights, it does.
I mean,
So you have
yeah.
a huge time frame here.
Mhm.
Do you at one point try to have Henrik drip the blood himself
Yeah.
onto the flower?
Yeah.
From his hand? Cool.
Mhm.
So same thing, no real effect, except the Weirlight flower looks different.
How does it look different?
Its petals, after a few moments, after not moments, but after you study, they grow much darker. Much darker.
And so this is a discernible difference from when I let it
Yes.
bleed from my hand.
They go from scarlet red to dark
Blood red?
Yeah. And are you keeping this in soil?
Yes.
Okay.
I got a pot.
In a pute. All right.
In a pot.
Yeah. So, and it seems the stem gets thicker as well. It almost looks just darker, stronger.
Like it's a super fertilizer?
Little bit. But just doing these experiments in your lab, you find are not yielding any extra results to your frustration, and you feel if you maybe did this where soil and outside and ground, you could maybe yield different results. Obviously, you're not so irresponsible to do it near the fields.
Yeah.
Clearly.
But do you go Henrik, we're going for a ride?
Yep. I'm gonna
Yes, Uncle.
keep.
Henrik,
Keep
are you
experimenting.
how complicit are you in this? Are you interested to help them in this?
Very. Yes. I found out my family has this weird blood curse. Yes, I am very interested to find this stuff out.
Excellent. So you go out, you place the flower into the ground. Henrik cuts his hand and drips the blood.
My hand is full of cuts at this point. I've done it so many times.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of blood is all it's necessary. The spores spread immediately begin to go out, these little dandelion style things.
I try to catch a few to research with.
Oh, sure, absolutely. You can you get them, and they begin to touch the grass around it, and very quickly the grass starts turning red. And the grass begins to grow taller and thicker. And it begins everywhere it lands, it's almost like a blood drop kind of and spread out. And it's starting to hit a lot of them to the point where you two are beginning to back up. And are beginning to back up because it's starting to get a little concerning. And very quickly you see some of the spores touch these other flowers to the side, and they attach themselves very aggressively to these flowers. And over time, Thorsten, not even a day later, you studying this kind of contained field, those flowers are Weirlights now. After a day.
Do they show any characteristics of the previous flower just from one point and then their
They do.
Weirlights afterwards?
They do still hold some characteristic of the original flower, inside like the stamen and chemically, but beyond that, they're essentially Weirlights now. Yeah, it's not like it was never that flower. It's totally this weird light. There's definite signs like, okay, yeah, this part of that flower is there, this part of that. And it is at this point, Thorsten, where your greater knowledge of and understanding of the world falls into the abyss. Because everything you've witnessed so far, there's explanation to it. This is starting to be in the realms of impossibility.
Mhm.
And the worst part is the Weirlights in this red grass, after a short period, bloom and eject more spores that then begin to fall and touch greener parts of grass that then quickly spread.
So it's doing the same thing again and again.
Yes,
over and over
again and again.
Okay. So I need to have somebody set fire to this area.
Okay. You have the area burned and set fire to. The spores seem flammable. But are you there when they set fire to them?
Yes.
Okay. Henrik, are you there when they set fire to them? Clarissa, are you there when they set fire to them?
100%.
Okay.
I am
Henrik,
as well.
you are there. So you three are there.
Or just like,
Rooting.
yeah.
Henrik's really confused, but he's like in copying the same.
Played any
Yeah.
further. Every time he asks questions, we just go, you'll
Yeah.
find out. Yeah. What was that?
Right.
Really cryptically, I was like,
They're beginning to spread the flame. It's engulfing the area. As it hits the patches of Weirlights, you see them spore again, but they're on fire. It's like these little flaming spores go up into the air, and you see the wind catch them and take them. And you see them in the distance land on a part of a field, and it just goes and is beginning to spread the fire in an out of control way incredibly quickly.
all right, let's go. Oh shit.
You immediately call, of course, your men to begin to try and quell the flames. And eventually the fire is put out. But a non-small part of the plains you take over have been blackened very quickly. Luckily, there was none of the trees really burned. It was just some brush and grass, essentially. Though, Thorsten, the grass that caught fire, all this grass around it, you're like, this is like really wet grass. Bit strange. And you study the kind of burnt area for a few days. And eventually, at the epicenters of the flames, there are Weirlight buds growing. However, they're not growing very fast, like the other ones did when hit with blood.
Now, with my research I've done with the different various parts of the flower in the past, have I found out a way to kill them? Like using, like an example being a pesticide, not really a pesticide, like a planticide or something like that.
You haven't. So you have. Yeah, you've definitely found poisons that'll just kill them. However, out here in the wild, the Weirlights seem to have very radically different responses.
Yeah.
Your guess is there's something in the soil, except you're using the same soil, and you've done experiments, and it's just for some reason different, and it's maddening that you're not able to recreate these effects in your laboratory, and it's maddening.
Okay. The one other thing I'd like to do within these 2 years is to kind of go through everything in Theolden Hall to find that book.
Sorry, what? What's up?
I want to go through everything in Theolden Hall within those 2 years to find that missing book.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Did Jesse
from the previous Maester?
leave? What happened?
Yeah.
He said that he had to
Jesse
leave
said
at
he had
10:30.
to go.
Oh, he had to go. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. My bad. Oh, noes. But yes, you're trying to find the missing book.
Mm-hmm.
The missing book. I see. All right. I will say you are going to find it. You are very sure it's not in Theolden Hall.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure where it is, but it's not here. But after times, you kind of stifle a bit of the experiments out in the field. You manage to keep things a little bit more under control. However, among the people, something begins to happen. Clarissa, you are Orton spies and people are starting to hear reports from people all over the Redlands, starting with the farmers, but then some people in Redport are even having it. People are starting to have nightmares. They're fairly inconsistent, except for one general theme that
Killer flower.
That like whatever horrors happen to them, whatever comes for them in the night, always comes from Theolden Hall. In the dream, like they're attacked by ducks, or a man ran me down on a horse, or something like that, but they always came from the direction of Theolden Hall. And it's starting to affect work progression,
Morale,
and people are beginning, as Thorsten and Henrik now know, are beginning to talk about, curses and something going on, and gossip is beginning to be spread, and there is a paranoia among the soldiers as well that something's different. So far, no one's blaming House Weirlight, specifically. No one's blaming the family or certain members or because they did that. A lot of blame is being thrown currently at the House Dannett, because they're just, they've been the scapegoat house for House Weirlight for years. Mm-hmm. There's a problem. Fucking Dannetts.
It is Dannetts, yeah.
Yeah. Do I hear any whisperings from the tale of the beginning of the Weirlights? Does that come up at all? Do any of the townspeople know that story?
It seems like some do. There is the oldest farming family here, who are literally called they're the Poppies. That's literally their family name.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're an old fucking family. They talk about it, goes, well, the Redlands didn't used to be such a prosperous land back in the old days, and that story is starting to spread. The old Weirlights were dark and evil, but luckily though there is a connotation that for some reason these modern Weirlights and the old Weirlights are a different family almost. They're just oh no, these are not, our people are great, because the love of the people is strong here, but people are spreading the old House Weirlight before the new one took over. like we're into some dark dealings. Now, you know this story better than literally anyone. This version obviously is not correct. Luckily they do not have real details. This is more like paranoia and like superstition has sort of fed.
Yeah, it's folklore.
Playing the game of telephone over and over and over
Yeah,
and over
exactly.
again throughout the years.
It feels very folklorish, and some people are worried that like for some reason the old curse is coming back, and no one's really sure. And some people talk about the old hall as well.
I feel like that's the day that she sends the letters to Catalina and Orange. Like, she hears that and is immediately like, no.
Yeah. Yep. Understood. But it seems to be there's also just been some other things that have kind of just mistakenly gone wrong. A pretty reliable, normal like poppy plot that has never really failed much. Their crop failed this last spring. They got soil rot, it seemed, which happens. So you're like, all right, cool. We have to move the land and till this and kind of move things on. And it's a bit of a fucking pain, but it's manageable. It's a lot of little things, Thorsten and Clarissa. And Thorsten, you're starting to trying to find patterns to it. And as we come finally into the full 2-year 2 and some change time skip, you have in fact, with time and effort, begun to come up with a hypothesis of what the pattern of the curse is. And your current hypothesis has to do with wind patterns.
Okay.
Assuming the wind has been, it has always been sometimes a contested point due to the sort of, due to the coastal shape, your guys' coastal shape. It's always been a little inconsistent. It rolls through the plains, comes from the ocean, the mountains, the sands. You're in a weird spot. But it's not making a ton of sense lately, and you're having to get tons of wind measuring implements, of which there are very few. It just is like the wind is going that way. The wind is going that way is the best you can do. But something to do with the wind, perhaps. But yeah, there are just small, strange occurrences that you're trying to go with. And yeah, that story of the old Weirlights is starting to crop up again. And Clarissa, unfortunately, some people get really scared because some kids go missing from the fields.
Which fields?
Well,
Affected fields?
Well, some of them, yeah. But also kids who have been. I mean, all the kids know to not play in the old wold. That's there's dangerous stuff over there. But some kids have gone missing recently. It's not really because of how massive the Weirlight's lands are. This isn't that big because it's not an epidemic. It's not like dozens of children are missing. It's like five kids have gone missing. And you know what? Kids go missing sometimes. Not as much in the Reach, but shit happens. Wolves, boars, hawks,
shadow cats.
Not really any shadow cats or anything.
Occasional.
Just people. Just
people too.
Yes.
That's true.
My next question, with me observing everything, obviously, if I think it's the wind, I'm assuming I have maps of the entire reach of our lands.
Yes, you do.
As I'm drawing on these maps to show the affection rate, is that showing a pattern?
As of late, at this moment, you're not sure,
Okay.
but we can get into that. But Thorsten, curse. This is a bad one. I need you to roll a d6.
Oops. Three.
Okay. You're gonna be rolling a couple here. Another one, please. Okay. Another one. All right. Another one. 4 so far. I need you to roll 3 more.
Oh,
2,
oh.
3. Jesus fucking Christ.
4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Excellent.
Hey. Six,
All right.
six.
3 is going to be subtracted from defense. It is a minus 1d6 to all house stats, unfortunately. Yeah. Curse sucks. Curse sucks.
Yeah.
It's a minus 4 from influence. A minus 2 from lands. A minus 6 from law. Yeah. A minus 6 from population.
Those missing kids.
Those 5 kids, man.
Well,
Five kids.
It's not just the 5 kids and other families have been affected. Shit has
It's
been going on.
all of those 5 kids had another like 50 people inside of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn it.
Minus 3 from power. And minus 6 from wealth.
Ooh,
Yeah.
hurts.
Supply lines have been affected. Poppy fields have been, of course. However, if you guys look, from before the start of the 2 years to now, you guys have still increased almost all of your things by a good amount.
Hold on. We're doing math now.
See the
One other
net-
thing, Anthony, real quick, or 2 other things.
Uh-huh.
The bottle from Maester Pycelle, do I figure what that is?
No, you will, but I don't have that in front of me right now.
Okay. No
But
worries.
you do know what that is.
Okay, and then number 2, we have a vineyard. Does that come to fruition over these 2 years?
Look at the vineyard we started.
Yes, you did start a vineyard. Thank you so much for reminding me. One moment. Yes, the vineyard is now
Established.
fully established. Means you guys will gain an extra +5.
Two.
I think it's 5. Hold on. One moment. One moment.
Is it wealth?
Here we go.
And maybe? We'll
It's
find out.
a wealth holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a plus 5, another +5 to house fortune rules in general,
Woohoo.
because you guys are selling wine now.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so it won't affect the stats. Got it.
No, it doesn't affect stats, but
Also, I forgot to mention earlier, but I did increase wealth with blessings, so you can add 1 more to wealth in addition because of house head for numbers.
oh, that's right.
Just a thing I do.
Just a thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that means we're down 8 influence, we're down 3 wealth, up 16 power, down 1 law, plus 3 defense, down 1 population, down 2 land.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. The last. There is in fact one more final roll. That because of the long time and distance, it's just me. I'm just gonna make a roll. And you guys get you get the basic house bonuses. So that is,
18 now total.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
It should be.
All right.
Yeah.
And it is on 3d6. All right.
So
20
20.
Oh shit.
plus 18, 29.
Hold on.
Oh.
I just want to double check what we've got because I had the thing. written
No,
down.
it so because it would be 3 plus 1 plus 1d. You guys got a port, and then it's a d6. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, growth. Woo!
Thank God.
Ah,
Oh,
we're
thank
fine.
you.
All right.
Oh
Let's
boy.
And what kind of growth is it? On toe. Okie dokie. Okay.
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm. Yeah.
And okay. So that is 2 to influence and 5 to wealth.
Okay, so +2 influence, +5 wealth.
Plus, when gaining a wealth, 26 plus 2 for the vineyard. Yeah.
And then it's plus an extra 1 from Clarissa for
Yes.
whatever that was. So that's a total of 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Head for numbers.
And then I can add that to that's sorry. The last thing is just my own world.
That's okay.
faction.
I'm adding a 5 and then an additional 7 or
No.
okay.
So 6.
No. The 6 is not for the wealth. That's for
Right. 5 plus 1 for head for numbers.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Mhm.
Numbers.
Numbers.
Numbats.
Mhm. Okay, so yeah. So 2 years have gone by. Lots of good things have happened. Some bad things have happened as well. Curses real bad for the Weirlights because y'all chose to be a cursed house. But you know, them's the break sometimes, keeps it fresh. Keeps it real, keeps it fresh. So before we are going to have to end the game in a little while here. Before we do that, I would like very much that scene with Clarissa and her father, where you are, my guess at this moment, in the Akelands with your father, and you are going to have the discussion of him stepping down as Lord of the Akelands. So you are in your father's, not your father's, but you're in like sort of your house's kind of sitting hall. There is a large fire roaring. There isn't a ton of trappings for the Asterwoods, but you live as your station allows. And you are, I believe, sitting across from one another, and you have drinks in front of you, of course.
Do you know why I visited you?
I think I take it any visit is welcome.
Salem's almost a year now.
He smiles big. And he nods. Yes, yes. I'm so happy you've been blessed with a son. And, well, any child, really.
Yes. Mm.
Have you been able to get any sleep?
Of course. I have friends to help with that.
You know, we had people as well with all of you, but I was always so nervous. I'd break you all, but I would still. Every time I heard you cry, I couldn't not be in the room, even if I was told I shouldn't. Should be a more delicate hand that comforted you, which I agreed with. These aren't hands that a child should get used to being held by.
You say that, but there are no other hands I would have had comfort me.
He's just
I've
kind of
done,
looking at his
yeah.
hand. Yeah, you go.
I've done well with Catalina. Her and Orton are getting along well, it seems. They certainly fill two halves of a whole.
I wasn't sure when you brought that up, but she seemed willing, and if she can learn things from one such as Lady Vivienne, I can't think of a better place for her.
Indeed, she'll do well, but I did it for a reason, not just for Catalina. I think it's time we talk about you and the Lordship.
Looks at you.
You know how much I adore you, Father. It is not easy for me to come to you, your third daughter, and speak of something like stepping down. But I do believe that it's time. What has happened in the Egglands proves that.
All right, so I think we're going to start that intrigue.
Let's do it.
Right about this time. Yeah, let's do it. So, why don't we roll initiative?
All right.
Okay. 13 coming in hot. All right. Ho ho. Your father is going first.
For him.
Yeah, so he looks at you and he goes, like stepping down. I think things have been terrible. I think here as of late. I admit that. Deserters taking what they will and want from our very lands. I did what I thought was right. And there are men far older than me and far less deserving that still hold their positions. I trust my brother. I know he would do well. But we're doing it. I did what you asked. We are taking back the lands. We have the reinforcements now, and I'm going to win my lands back with my bare hands if I have to. Like, please. Like, can't you see that? And so he's just gonna try to convince you. Boop. And I say, boop. 13.
Is my intrigue defense.
All right. Now, Carissa,
Uh-huh.
what is your disposition with your father?
Affectionate. So it's an
Mhm.
18.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's I didn't want to assume, but it's about right. And I definitely know his disposition for you. So he gets an 18. So that is 2 degrees of success. So that is 6 damage minus 1, so 5.
All right.
And you see this. It's not desperation, but it is yes, there were problems, and now we've fixed them, and I'm going to fix them even better. His words of just like, I need to do this, ring true in your ear. It is your turn.
All right. I would like to make an awareness test to read target.
Okay. Absolutely.
All right. 19?
I mean, fucking yeah. Because it's passive.
Passive deception.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. It does.
His
Great
passive
line.
deception is awful.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, that beats it by a large amount.
Hmm.
Equal to your target's result, you learn the target's current disposition and the tech he uses for this exchange. So he's using convince, right? And his disposition is, of course, affectionate.
Yes.
And you now have a +1 dice, full die on all of your deception and persuasion tests against him from here on out. So you're just reading him. He sits back and he considers. You just staring at him. It is your go.
Yeah. With the Weirlights back, actually, legitimately back, sprouting everywhere, in the visions, in the nightmares, and I do not have the Book of Asterwood. Let that happen again. I must do what is right for the Weirlights and for the Asterwoods. And I want to try and convince him as well.
Okay. Being direct.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I keep seeing all the sparkly lights behind.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh. No, don't turn them off. Don't turn them off. They're amazing. They're beautiful.
They're really, really pretty.
Sometimes I sometimes look over, I'm like, oh my god, wow, Serena. Oh, lights.
19.
+5. So
Yeah.
24. Okay. Yeah, that is 3 degrees of success. So what's your willpower?
3.
Okay, so that's 9 damage minus 1, so 8. Yeah, so that affects him. You see that affect him. And he just sort of nods. He goes, I kind of blinks a few times. And he goes, I don't know how they did it. I don't even know how they knew even where to look. It's not like I left it out on a bloody table. It's more prized relics, and I am here now. We have the forces now. I know what it is to be done here. And I am not done. I have things we need to do, especially now we're getting the book back. And it's not as if my brother will rule differently than me. He agreed with all of our thing. But I suppose right now you were speaking of Claude. And there is definitely a disdainful note. Claude with his silver-tongued and honey words. Claude, who was never actually given a fig for our real charge, save for when it suited him. Have I fallen so low in your eyes that I am below a man I know you to what I believe would be the appropriate word is despise? All right, so he got extra 2 bonus dice because of his consider. He going to be. That's another 13 plus 5, 18. I believe that is 2 degrees of success. Another 6 influence upon you, -1, so 5.
All right, I do have to take frustration.
Okay, you begin to grow frustrated at your father.
Mm-hmm. I do despise Claude. With every bone in my body, I despise Claude. But my child lives on Weirlight land. My land is a part of Weirlight land. Everything I've earned, everything I've worked for. And I love you. And your reputation has not fallen in my eyes. I just... Perhaps this is out of your wheelhouse, Father. I will try to convince him again.
Okay.
Oh, 18.
18. Yep. 2 degrees of success. -1. I mean, yeah. Yep. He'd have to take a lot of frustration. So I think this is a moment where you see him clenching his fists. You see him about to dig in. But his hands just relax, and he slumps in his chair. And he looks over at the fire, and he suddenly seems so much older. You know your father to be a strong man. He carries himself, wears armor regularly, can still ride with the best of them. He's still strong. But he looks like he's 80, when in fact he's mid-60s. You know, ruling this place, having the responsibility that he has, that you have, it's draining him. And he looks into the fire and blinks. And he goes, "You're right. I suppose you're right. Suppose if I've gotten to the point where my own daughter has to say it to me, I've become old and foolish. I know this is not new. I have been hearing this for quite some time from my brother, from the people. And he just looks down. I know they hate me. And he just shakes his head.
She stands from where she's sitting, like walks over, kneels down in front of him and grabs his hands and says, "They don't hate you. They just don't know what other thing to do."
Nods. I will. But. And he looks at you as if he's asking permission, as you did win the intrigue.
Yes, yes, of course. What?
I'm like, let me still ride by Tedric's side. Let me win back our land before I hand it over.
Of course. Father, of course, Lord Asterwood, that's a very easy request to accomplish.
I don't have any wants left in me. The impossible I've already seen the impossible happen. You married. And you have a son. A beautiful boy. And he just smiles. And Catalina follows in your footsteps.
Father, we're happy.
Nods. Lords don't retire. They do, I suppose.
We definitely do.
I shall have to think of something. But I swear to you, daughter, I swear to you, Clary, that I will win back what I lost before the end.
That's Lady Birchsong to you, and Jaren will be right beside you.
He smiles at that. That's a good man.
One of the best.
Your sister's husbands, I knew they would take good care of them. But he's definitely a son I'm happy to have.
Thea and Celeste don't need half the looking after I do.
He smiles. I know it. And he kisses your forehead. I'll begin to make the arrangements. And he goes to stand up, and you hear the noise his body makes as he stands.
Yeah, I think she pulls him back down.
He does.
Just stay here with me for a few more hours.
He smiles in a way you haven't really seen him smile. No, you saw him on your wedding day. He smiled like this, where all of the edge and vinegar and jading that his hard life as a warrior and a lord has brought to him just melts away into these very happy eyes of an old, man looking at his daughter. And he goes, Very well, Lady Birdsong. And he kind of leans back and he begins to hum a tune from your childhood. And we leave that scene there. Excellent. Whew. Yes. I think good stuff, guys. Well, as we begin to wrap up a bit, I think near the end here, we will do a scene where we zoom in on Theolden Hall, and it doesn't look any different than it once did. And there is a hustle and bustle in the air. The air of worry and superstition and paranoia seemingly has melted away in these past few days due to the utter excitement of what the house knows will be one of the grandest events that will happen for quite some time in Theolden Hall, which is, of course, the wedding of their heir, Henrik Weirlight, to Ashilla Ashford. Ashford and Weirlight can't miss. And even the people who have had a great sense of foreboding can't help but be merry due to their, great love of the Weirlight family and of Henrik, who has come out, has seen them, worked with them, talked with them. They know of him. And they're so ecstatic to know that Lord Tedric's son is getting married. Orton, Catalina, and Clarissa have all done impossibly thorough background checks on the man who is to help plan the party. And
yes.
Both a mixture of Weirlight knights and Orton's secreted men escort this man from his state after a thorough pre-week of investigation by the spies that Orton brings to the table. As he does specifically have spies. And this is in fact the correct man, a man who does not have a violent past. He is Westerosi. And all of that good stuff. And arriving here, dressed very think like Elizabethan era, like Shakespearean era, very kind of Shakespearean goatee and mustache, ruffled mustache,
Very
ruffled
poofy.
collar, ruffled collar, no bright colors like Amika Thraus, very classy, mostly black with these kind of golden kind of tones over it. And he comes incredibly highly recommended. After all, the last wedding he did was, in fact, Lord Robert Baratheon's.
Holy shit.
Damn. Him and his and Cersei's wedding. He was one of the planners on it. And due to the recent influence you have gained, you have had access to him, and he is willing to come and take a look. His name, of course, is Wendell Wormwood.
I'm picturing the mayor from Nightmare Before Christmas in like a little Elizabethan collar. And
Oh, sure. He's not obese at all, but he's actually a very thin man. Rather short as well, like 5'4", 5'5", widow's peak. He has ruffled everything. Also at the bottom of his shoes, everything's ruffled. And and of course, Catalina is really excited about the ideas, and of course, Orton and Clarissa are just running the expenses of well,
Yeah.
well. Now the advantage of this is, of course, the Ashfords are footing most of the bill.
Oh my god. Oh.
Along with the dowry. Once they arrive, the dowry of Ashella Ashford will be put in place, which we don't add it yet. I'll tell you when. But just for your guys' information, Ashella Ashford's dowry is equal to. Hold on.
Math.
X amounts of points and wealth.
Yes. 5 points of wealth.
Gross.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Be scared of what you contemplate what my dowry is.
Yes, that is true.
I
Very,
mean,
like,
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
The Ashfords, of course, are disgustingly wealthy, having well over 70 in their rank. And they do not wish to appear stingy. So not only are they paying for the predominance of the wedding, besides basic expenses that are just because of it's being held at Theolden Hall, they were going to pay for all of it, but then it would be held at House Ashford, and you're like, no. Like, no. You're coming into our family. Like, no. And so you have negotiated. They're still paying for most of it. So luckily that's out of the way, but you still have to calculate everything to give the bill to them. And Wendell Wormwood has been, of course, talking at length with you, Henrik, and of course Vivian, and everyone. He has spent some time with you, Henrik, and he has been asking your opinion for lots of things, but also just literally sometimes walking up to you with ideas. And he goes, okay.
Love it.
Yeah, he's just like, all right, my lord, picture this.
Talk to me.
Suddenly, during the dining hall where everyone is, waiting, seating, suddenly all of the candles go out, and then he turns around someone behind him, and he pulls out these two silver goblets that are on fire. These cherries jubilee lit on fire begin flying out in sequin patterns, held and lifted by acrobats, begin to move through the darkened hallway, and everyone gets one. And then suddenly, when all of the lights are being immediately lit back on, the chariot jubilee will be then blown out by both you and your bride, signaling the passing of a torch and the start of a new era. Thoughts?
First off, I love it.
Clarissa, you are there for this.
behind his shoulder to Henrik, she's like,
I'm like,
I love one slight concern. Love the dramatics. I think we're on the right path here. I once accidentally did light a tapestry in our dining room on fire, so I am a bit wary of that. Just
my lord, these acrobats will, of course, for the next 3 days be kept in dark conditions, so they have perfect night eyes for the moment.
We're gonna keep a bunch of people in sensory deprivation for this.
This is something they do all the time.
Yes.
Larry turns to her gaggle of also stewards and goes, "That's not happening," and then turns back around.
It's it will be perfect. I also know an incredibly skilled poet that can write poems for every single guest who wants to go up to. She's a total bitch to work with, but everyone will love it.
While I'm taking,
having an aneurysm.
Yes.
I'm also thinking, instead of name places for everyone, we were thinking. Hold on, this is my assistant, Bareth. Bareth, come here. And this young man comes up. He's awkwardly tall, and he goes, "Hello, everyone. This is my assistant. I'm apprenticing him. He's also my nephew. All right, Barrett, tell them the idea. And he goes, yes. Well, we were thinking instead of name cards or being directed to a seat, each guest would have a mirror with their name etched onto it. And he goes,
Oh,
well, where to?
that
They're like, wow, really? Wow, way to sell it to me, Barrett. Great. Like, sorry about that.
no, it's all right. The vision was there. I understand it, and I love it. It's oh, could it be the mirror? I want. Ooh, let's have it.
But behind your two seats, we would have full standing mirrors.
Oh yes. The outside needs to be like gilded for ours for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you. Yes. Mhm,
Barrett,
mhm.
are you writing this down? And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
All right. Yeah.
Just so, like, take out.
Take this man.
Oh,
Think. So, what are we thinking? Yes.
yes. Plan. While we're wedding planning, I suppose. Ashfords aren't here with us, right?
Oh,
During
yeah.
the wedding planning. Oh, they are.
Not yet. No.
Okay.
These are just he's getting things from your perspective, and then when Ashella comes, he's going to talk to her as well.
Okay. I'm gonna do something, but I'll wait for later for that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Clarissa.
I'm fine.
You're fine.
I'm fine. Oh, good.
Aneurysm is showing.
Oh, good.
A little bit.
Just
Mhm.
it's just that forehead vein that's slowly starting to protrude even
Yeah.
more.
Getting back there. Yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying, we want this to be the most extravagant event the Reach has ever seen. And, I mean, with the Ashfords footing the bill, I mean, my imagination, honestly, it has no bounds. Surely, you think this is, you're with me for this, yes, Lady Vivian, Lord Henrik.
Of course, I trust we are in your creative and well insightful hands. Your vision is going to make Lady Ashford's wedding amazing. I can just tell already.
I agree with my son. You only get married for the first time one.
All right.
Exactly.
Valid.
And
Orton's like looking over at you, Clarissa, and he's just like, none of this surprises me.
It's a one-time thing with a party planner, but no.
like,
Mm.
Well, at least we have a bit more. You have a bit more input. I think the scans. Your steward. What were you thinking? What were your ideas? This isn't really just a formal thing. You know, this is just really this is art we're creating here. A sort of storm of the mind that is in this conflagration. What have you been cooking up?
Workshop.
Hey, Chris, what speaks to
Touch
you?
it up.
Mm-hmm.
He just like slowly turns to Orton.
He just looks up, like looks at you, like.
Allison got married with like 5 people in attendance.
I support whatever my lord and lady would enjoy.
Oh, well, I mean, you have such a great insight onto that, like Lady Asterwood. What do you think? What is an idea that, like, you think can just really make people never forget this wedding?
Gotta do better than peacocks.
Well, to be honest, the last party we had, it was very unforgettable. So as long as you top that and stay alive, I see no issue with what you do here.
Mumble.
She is ominous.
Right?
Oh, I think. Well, all right then. So, as we sort of, Carissa, kind of nodding to all of that. Clarissa, this is your kind of last day here. You unfortunately will be able to get essentially a little bit of the wedding, but you will be going on your well-earned leave, as you have not taken any in the past 14 years of service. Taken a time off. Yeah. But now you are finally earning some for your son and your husband to spend some time with them. And of course, leaving your very capable stewards in your place.
Yes, co-stewards. I feel like she throws Catalina at the party planner and runs, basically.
Yep.
She just take this one.
Catalina's like, oh, I've got this.
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah, she's into it. She's here for it. She seems to be vibing with Wendell.
Of course. Yeah. And I'm going to make my way to speak with Henrik, if I can.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
Briefly. Yes. My lord, Henrik.
A bird song?
Very apt of you. Yes, I... How do I... When I am here, you tend to run off. You understand what I'm saying? You like to do your own thing. Yes, Henrik.
That's been my reputation. Probably. I think so. Agree with that.
Lady Catalina and Lord Lucas are not as sharp-eyed as I am. So please, don't touch any flowers. And don't kiss any girls that aren't your wife, all right?
I will do my very best.
Ah, delightful. So glad to hear it. And she pats your cheek and walks away.
Oh.
All right. So unless there's anything else you would like to say to, I think, anyone, Clarissa, that is here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take some things from Thorsten's office. So I'm guessing I'm probably gonna run into Thorsten.
Yes, you are. And
Yes.
Thorsten, you know the actual reasons Clarissa is leaving.
We discussed it, yes.
Yes, which is she is going to be making a journey to several places, starting with the Isle of Faces.
Okay.
As she has an excuse to leave, unfortunately, you do not. Because maesters don't get time off.
Nope.
Yes. Yeah, she bustles into your office and without knocking, because she doesn't knock, and with Birch at her heels, and she says, "Ah, Thorsten, hello. I am looking for the finger."
Reach into the.
The tree finger.
I reach
That's
into
the one.
my desk and I grab it for you. Because I know exactly
You
what you're
do?
talking about.
It's still
Brilliant.
You
Horrible
damn
thing.
well it is because it's a hidden drawer.
Have you looked any more into? I believe her name was Myelina Blackfire. Am I getting that right? The one who burned the books, in the Old Town Library. Old Town? Did I get that right?
Old Town. You got it.
I can't remember off the top of my head if I've done that now.
Well, maybe look into it if you can.
What was the name again?
I believe it's Melina Blackfire, but I can give you better after the session. More assurity.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be gone for quite a long period of time. So I suppose I'll give you half of the advice that I just gave Henrik. Please don't touch the Weirlights on Weirlight land. You can touch them in your office, but
He's so gonna touch it. He's gonna touch it.
please. I'll have more information when I get back. You can do whatever you want then.
I will refrain from doing so.
You know I would hate to miss out on any of the excitement, Thorsten. But
I know.
when you do inevitably do so, just make sure you document it thoroughly, yes?
Of course.
Oh, also, I filled Jared in completely about all of this. So,
Okay.
you can speak with him if you'd like.
Okay then. It'd be nice to have another brain to go along with it.
Yes. I will see you when I get back.
And as soon as she says that, I get up and I give her a big old hug.
Yes.
Mhm.
She
And I do the
returns
same
hug.
thing I did for Naimora. I give her some milk of the poppy.
Hopefully it won't be a shadow cat this time.
However, this is probably to sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't do that anyways.
Yes.
All right. So you take your supplies and you head off. So next time we all see each other, Clarissa will be gone for quite a bit of time on her journey. But the rest of the house, we will be here with Lady Vivian, Maester Thorsten, and Lord Henrik for the wedding. We will be following Lord Tiedric at his state of war, and Lady Mariella and Sir Naimora at Highgarden. And see
We
how
missed the
all-
wedding.
and how all of those stories will possibly coincide. Do not worry, though. You'll be there for your brother's wedding. It's your brother's wedding.
It's just party planning then. Awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You just get to be there as a guest.
This is true.
Ooh.
Much more fun.
Much more fun.
Mhm.
But as we are going into, things will be changing now, but they aren't forever. Well, I think we hope you guys join us next time. And everyone, at least for now, that's a wrap on Clarissa Weirlight. Excuse me, Clarissa Birdsong of House Weirlight. Yay! Let's give a clap. Let's give a clap.
Small sabbatical. She'll be back.
Mhm. Except it's not actually sabbatical, because I'm sure whenever she comes back, she just won't have eyelids anymore. She's just
Very
Don't need
true.
them.
I was
Eyelids.
talking specifically Bailey, but sure.
Who knows? My
Who knows?
eyelids might be
This
gone
is
too.
true.
I can't tell you.
School and life could do that to you.
Yep, school be like that.
Anyways.
But see you guys next time.
Mwah.
Right.